Someone call a doctor because these fragrances are sick. Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Hope you're well. Today, 10 different fragrances that never miss. If you miss wearing these, and I don't know what miss means. I know what the word means, but in this context, what does it mean? Oh, yeah. People friggin' love them. If you screw this up, it's on you. I'm sorry. All of these are linked in the description. Feel free to check them out down there. And I've got a nice mix today. So some of these are way more under the radar, and then others are much more well known. That way it gives you a little taste of everything. That's disgusting. Ugh. And we're gonna start off with one of those that's actually kind of in the middle. You know, it's a little under the radar. Your average person probably doesn't know about it, but you guys know. You guys know everything. It's this little guy, Missoni Parfum Pomme. Don't buy the tester. I cheaped out, I bought the tester. You can see, no cap. And the cap is magnetic, so it's double whammy. I have an unholy number of fragrances, and I kid you not, I swear to you, every time I look at this bottle, I'm like, oh, so stupid. So am I probably gonna buy one of these at some point just so I can get the cap? Yeah. So Missoni Parfum, not as well known as Missoni Wave, which is also great, but this one is similar to Bleu de Chanel. Yeah, it's right in that wheelhouse and that style, but way cheaper. So this is gonna be a fragrance that you can wear all year. Daytime, nighttime, winter, summer, spring, fall, it does not matter. You can wear it to work. You can wear it just day to day. You could even wear it in more formal occasions if you wanted to, because again, it smells kind of similar to Bleu de Chanel, which is one of the most versatile fragrances ever. Yeah. So this is gonna be an insane deal for a lot of people out there who are wanting something that comes in a nice looking presentation from a brand that does have at least some cachet. You know, Missoni is at least a little bit more well known than some of the other very small designer houses out there. And it's just that type of thing that smells way more expensive than it costs. And frankly, you don't need to tell people that you picked it up from a discounter for next to nothing. Keep that to yourself. You know, just pull it up full retail if you can find it. And if you can't, just make it up, who cares? That's bad advice, don't take that advice. You're like, oh, this one, yeah, it's about $400 actually. Why are you Googling that? You don't need to Google that. They'll be like, oh, really, 400? Doofus. Let's see, what do we want to talk about next? Let's talk about this one. So this is Carolina Herrera's Insignia. Now, this one right here has actually been really hard to find, but at least as of this second, like right this moment, right now, when I'm shooting this video, you can find it at discounters. It's not crazy cheap, but you can find it. See? Right there, JOMASHOP 65. Now that is a tester, but FragranceNet has it for like 85, I think it is, something around there. So like I said, you can find it. And as long as you can find it, that means if you really want it, you can wear it. Now this is gonna be very different, very unique compared to 99% of men's designer fragrances out there on the market today. So like if you take your little happy butt and you walk yourself into Macy's, Sephora, Nordstrom, wherever you're going, and you start smelling yourself some designer fragrances, at least the ones that are on sale in the US, you're not really gonna find anything that smells similar to this. It's gonna be a fall, wintertime fragrance, so not something you're gonna wear in the middle of summer unless you just hate everyone around you, then go for it. But you did not hear it from me that it was okay. I did not say that. In terms of notes, it has saffron, it's got cinnamon, it has rose, oud, violet, and patchouli. And I know what you may think when you hear that. Rose, saffron, and oud. Yay. The note combo that has been done to death and then resurrected by a necromancer lich and then put back to death once again. No thank you. No thanks. And I hear you, I get you. Rose, oud, saffron is played out, or has been played out. But I guess if long enough goes between lots of releases, then it becomes trendy again. But don't worry, this one is actually a really well done one. It doesn't smell super generic as far as that rose, oud, saffron combo goes. It doesn't go overly heavy with any of those notes. Actually a little more of the the saffron. So you get a really nice sweetness, a spicy sweetness off the top, the saffron, cinnamon coming together. The rose in here is not overly powdery or anything like that. I mean, just a touch, but not too much. And then the oud is more so just that kind of like dark woodiness. Quality is great. If you scoop it for 65, that's awesome, because again, this is a limited fragrance, or it was limited initially, and not many people have it, unless they're really into fragrances, of course. And it gives you something that you can rock fall and winter in the evening and smell amazing. Now, of course, I brought up that JOMASHOP price, 65 bones, which all things considered, actually pretty good for that one, but you can make it less. If you buy more things, you can make it less, which technically would not be less, but let's not get sidetracked. If you use these coupons you see on your screen, you can save yourself even more money. The JOMASHOP codes do only work within the JOMASHOP app, so be aware of that. The Gift Express code GENTS15 will get you 15% off, assuming the order is over 250 bucks. If it's under 250, it'll be 10% off. That's good for the entire site. And then there's also the perfume box where you can save 10% off there. Codes for Frag Flex, Max Aroma, Twisted Lily, and many others. So use those codes when you shop at those sites. Save yourself some money. The next one comes to us from the house of Tumi. Yeah, Tumi. You know, that company that makes luggage that costs this much. What a great deal. But think how sick you would look rolling that through the airport, and those wheels are just gonna be so buttery smooth. You're gonna see me walking by with the Samsonite piece of luggage and be like, loser peasant. Feast your eyes upon my Tumi. Yes, it costs as much as a friggin' Porsche, but look how sick it is. Back on track, the fragrance, Tumi, 19 Degree. Now the bottle looks pretty slick. I like the matte design, it looks good. It has a cool locking mechanism for the cap, which I really do enjoy. It was pretty expensive when it launched, and you can find it at discounters now for a more affordable price, but it's still like 90 bucks or so. It's not exactly cheap. Thankfully, it does have pretty solid performance, so you don't have to worry too much about the fragrance just vanishing. And in terms of how it's constructed, it's kind of like a Ventusy, but with raspberry. So it's almost like you lift aspects of Tuscan leather from Tom Ford and you mix it with the Ventus. And ultimately it smells like its own thing, but it also is like taking bits and pieces from those fragrances to make it its own thing. It's very versatile. You can wear this stuff in spring, fall, winter, even summer. Probably wouldn't go crazy heavy in summer, but you could still pull it off then. Daytime or evening, either one. And it's another one that most people do not know about, even though it's taking inspiration from two extremely popular fragrances. Okay, we've had a couple that are not really expensive, but a little more expensive than some of the other ones here, so let's talk about a cheapie. How about this one? This is Pepe Jeans London Calling. I love myself some Pepe Jeans. I don't know why, they're just like, they're cheesy, they're a little tacky, they're cheap, but some of them are really good, and this one is one of those really good ones. Got an interesting note breakdown, including chutney as one of the notes, which don't see that every day. You also have in here vanilla, plum, lemon, lavender, and nutmeg. So a really interesting note breakdown, just a lot of things going on there. It's another one with really good versatility, daytime or evening, spring, fall, winter. Not as much summertime, but you could technically pull this one off if you wanted to during summer. It's just, it is more on the sweet side of things. So it's got like a nice deep sweetness, also some fresh aspects there, but like I said, leaning more toward the sweet side of things. And some people have found similarities between this and Stronger With You Intensely, kind of like a Pepe Jeans twist of that fragrance. Now it does have a little bit of a synthetic edge to the sweetness that's in here, but for the price point under 30 bucks, it is sick and people love it. Let's go with the clone up next. Don't worry, there's only a couple in here. This one is French Avenue's Royal Blend Nero. This one about 30 bucks from discounters and it lasts forever. It really has intense longevity, sticks around, projects really well. Note breakdown wise, you have apple in here, along with nutmeg, cinnamon, wood, saffron, vanilla, benzoin, and tonka. And it's gonna remind you of Camra by Lattafa, only way stronger, and also Gisa Sava. And because of those similarities, it could remind you of Angel Share from By Kilian as well, though it is more similar to the first two that I mentioned. So this one is gonna be fall, winter time, daytime, or evening, leaning more toward evening use. And just like the fragrances I mentioned as well, massive compliment puller, fantastic scent, and more under the radar than Camera. And if it were like 50, 60 bucks, maybe you would say, it's not worth the extra amount. But with it being there at like 30, pretty good deal. All right, let's go more expensive next. We had a couple cheapies. Now it's time to ramp up the price a little bit. Gucci Intense Oud. Nowadays, for men's fragrances, Gucci is basically like, how about Guilty? Guilty? A little guilty? Can you see them? They're right here. This is all guilty. I'm gonna tell you a story. Now, once upon a time, Gucci did have other fragrance lines. They did. They had ones that came in bottles like a Dece. They had Gucci Envy, which, ooh, nice. They had Gucci Pomme. They had 2 of those. They had Gucci Rush. They had a few different things going on. It was different times. It's crazy, it's the Wild West. So this one, Intense Oud, is, as I said, a little bit on the pricey side as far as designers go. At discounters, like $115, and this is actually kind of funny. When this came out, it was pricey at retail. Like, this was a really high-end designer fragrance, one of the most expensive ones out there. You can find it retail today for $225 at Macy's. And while yes, that is expensive, you have new fragrances coming out nowadays like Burberry Parfum Intense, or excuse me, Burberry Hero Parfum Intense, that are right at about that price point. So what once was like the pinnacle of expense as far as like mainline designer fragrances goes, is now just kind of falling in line with the other expensive designers. Yay. So in terms of notes, this one has raspberry in it, it has olibanum, it's got oud, leather, musk, a little bit of a floral action going on as well. Kind of similar to Black Afghano by Nasamato, but actually a little smoother and more wearable. This is absolutely the kind of fragrance that is more a special occasion type scent for most people. Like, most people are not gonna scoop this up and be like, yo, I'm wearing this 30 days straight. That's not this type of scent. But for the people that this works for, this is stunning, extremely high quality. And at the designer price point, or excuse me, the discounter price point, you know, that 100 some bucks, it's actually a really good deal because the quality is there. All right, I feel like we need to go cheap again. This time, the last clone in today's video, Crimson from Rayhan. Got a pretty cool bottle. It's got this neat design. It is a plastic over glass, but it looks pretty good. And of course, this being a clone, quite affordable, which is always nice. It is a clone of Creed's Centaurus, which that one is not affordable. So outside of this price difference, this is very similar to Centaurus, which that one is a tobacco forward fragrance. It's sweet, sweet, spicy. So you do have to enjoy that kind of aspect, like a really sweetened cinnamon kind of tobacco scent, which thankfully I love. So this one is gonna be fall, winter, early spring, daytime, or evening. Could also remind you very vaguely of Amouage's Boundless, because that's a little similar to Centaurus, but this is absolutely Centaurus, not Boundless. So just useless information for you. The next one is Dylan Blue from Versace. I know, Dylan Blue. It's a fragrance that sometimes gets beat up on a little bit, but I mean, for what you pay and what you get, this stuff works. Any season. I mean, you can wear this just like you would wear the big dogs, you know, Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, Y, all that. You would wear this the exact same times. It's got a big name perfumer attached to it. If that matters to you, for most people it doesn't, but if it does. Presentation looks slick. The price is lower than all of those others. The performance is good enough that you don't have to really reapply over and over again all day. Got a nice opening, some citrus in there, really attention grabbing, ambroxan as it dries down, little touch of incense, which helps it stand out when it's cold outside. Dylan Blue works. I mean, there's just no way around it. So if you're looking for a safe fragrance that is from a brand everybody knows, that's not gonna burn a hole in your pocket, check this out. Now something more under the radar. This is from Mont Blanc. It's called Extreme Leather. And you may hear that and you may think to yourself, well, bro, I'm not keen on an extreme leather. That just sounds like something people are not gonna enjoy, including myself. And that bottle looks like it's gonna be expensive. You know, it's like a private line type fragrance, a signature collection type fragrance. I'm not keen on that. I just want a normal designer. Well, while it's true, this is more expensive than most Mont Blanc fragrances. You know, if you're looking at Explorer Legend Eau de Toilette, something like that, those will be cheaper. But you can pick this up at discounters, sub $100, a lot of times right around 70 or so. Depending on where you're shopping, it may be more expensive, or you may be able to find it for even less. Note breakdown is really simple. Leather, of course, extreme leather, and iris, and musk. You also get like a small touch of citrus in here when you first spray the scent on. The iris in here is clean, it's elegant, sophisticated, very classy. It comes across as a modern type of iris. It's got like lightly, as I said, clean, semi-soapy aspects without going full on powdery, like it's not a powder bomb. Instead, it's a little bit more creamy. And so it's kind of a scent that's like borrowing bits and pieces from other fragrances. Ombre Leather by Tom Ford, you know, part of the original Dior Homme line, even with like a little Prada thrown in there. It's kind of like a little blend of all these different things put together, and you end up getting a scent that just smells fantastic. Now, this is not gonna be for somebody looking for like a really sweet bomb type of fragrance, you know, that type of scent that's gonna reach across the room and slap somebody. But if you enjoy iris, that is something you absolutely need to check out. And our final fragrance, a cheapie, a versatile scent from a brand most everybody knows that is a compliment puller. Not the most exciting thing as far as being like earth-shatteringly new, because it's not that, but it is safe, it gets the job done, and people love it. It's Coach for men. It smells a bit similar to Jimmy Choo for men, but between the two, the Coach is probably gonna be a better buy for most people. A little better performance with this one. It has pear and cardamom in here. Really nice opening, actually. The opening, really attention-grabbing, sweet, fresh, clean. A little bit syrupy, but in a really appealing way. It's nice and bright. Also have some other notes in there that are fairly unique, like kumquat, along with lavender, grapefruit, bergamot, geranium, a little bit of leather and amberwood as well. This is just an extremely appealing scent that absolutely crushes during the summer, that you can also stretch out and use during spring, during fall, and during some parts of winter if it's not insanely cold. So just a great everyday jack-of-all-trades scent that you can pick up for cheap that people love. So there we go, guys. There are 10 different scents. Those right there always get the job done. And there's a nice mix there. Some stuff for fall and winter, some for spring, summer, some lesser known, some more well-known, some more expensive, some cheaper. I wanna thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, take care of yourself. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.